Good morning, guys. A great morning to all of those who tuned into the realest thing coming out of Guyana. Don't get realer than this. Now, my header is in direct reference to bottom feeders. Now, bottom feeders. Let's Google it. Bottom feeder.
Here's the definition of bottom feeder. Any marine creature that lives on the seabed and feeds by scavenging.
Any marine creature that lives on the seabed and lives by scavenging. Now, what encaptures that? I want to suggest that there's a person that is a bottom feeder, that expresses that kind of attitude, that lives by scavenging. Can you make a guess? Who's a bottom feeder? Well, if you didn't know, now you know. Rickford Burke is a bottom feeder. Yes. Rickford Burke, by the way, is one of the most prominent bottom feeders. Yeah, prominent. He's as prominent as they get. It's like being a famous beggar. Do you know this guy? His picture comes up and everybody's like, do you know this guy? Here what now? I come across things and I try to understand, are these guys serious? Right? Are they serious about life? Are they serious about Guyana and what Guyanese are doing? I don't believe they're serious. So, this is what Rickford Burke had to say about the new British Prime Minister. Right? What happened here? He had nothing to say. When you want to know if the guy is a racist, right? Everything that he writes or he speaks about, if you go to his page, speaks about, it's elaborate. Paragraphs upon paragraphs of bullshit to create some kind of illusional importance. That's not going to change the fact, Ricky boy, that you're a bottom feeder. Now, nobody watches his videos and realize the guy is in a basement. The guy posts a picture. These are simple things. You could get a CIA, the analysts. You could get different analysts to tell you. So the guy is posing here. He poses a picture. Stand up on the step. No, you can't stand up on the step. That is going downstairs. You see the step is right behind him. He's standing at the bottom of the step. Right? At the bottom of the step he's standing. And if you look into his shades, right? Look. You gotta know how to do these things. If you don't know how to do these things, let me tell you how to do them. He's downstairs. That reflection that you're seeing in his shade is the basement door. Now the Americans know why they want to put me center sideway, man. You got me look as a small sideway at this bottom feeder. You're giving me some sort of importance. Them just get confused on the bottom. They see the bottom. This is a confused thing side by side. So you got to watch into his shades for realize he is downstairs by the basement door. Boo! In the chute. Right? This guy is on drugs. Look at him. Junky lips and all. Look at him close. This man is up on some sort of speed. That's that. He gotta get a fix. Now he come up with this idea. What am I? He come up with this idea here. Somebody say disrespectful and me for that. Man, what kind of understatement is though? So, what you going on here? This comes from his page. Now this banner goes around and puts real effort into causing confusion in this country. But it doesn't work. Guyanese do not care. Guyanese are no longer looking at the Indian face and the black. There are some who follow this bottom feeder. But people are seeing the light. People for the first time are seeing what progress looks like. So somebody saying, one body saying disrespectful bad, everybody say when bad thing happen to you, people just ask to pray. People just ask to pray for me. I don't ask somebody to pray for me. Right? I'm blessed and highly favored. Lucinda, so this is what this decrepit, you know what is a decrepit? Google again. Decrepit. Oh shit. Watch your Google pull up big puppet. No, I said big puppet, I said decrepit. Decrepit.
According to 50 Floor, what is deep pile or high pile carpet? Deep pile.
Google aqui depois shipping this over.
Decrepit.
Give me the definition of decrepit. Decrepit.
Here's the definition of decrepit: worn out or ruined because of age or neglect.
This bottom feeding decrepit. Me and Google working is not me. It's Google giving the definition. Here's your voice.
Decrepit.
Decrepit. That's the proper pronunciation. Decrepit. Right? So, this banner, don't worry the fact that they're attacking this political PvP, right? But the fact that he's a racist and the US know why they in give me a visa yet. And it's a lucky thing I might be injuring myself for go talk to Rick for jerk. Right? Because you imagine you going for bills here outside the house, like how Guyanese do it. Like how we normally do. You imagine I going for bills Rickford? I got to kneel down now and peep through the little window. You know basement don't have full-size windows. So imagine me. Imagine you walking down the road and see me kneeling down by a little window cussing, Rickford, you cross you. You understand? Now when the boy do anything, when he do any, whatever he do, whatever the turn he had, he always just want to know why You not see no windows on the apartment that he's in. But there are no windows because it's the basement. Right? Look at here, when you want to know if the buyer is a racist, look at this. So you write something about Freddie Kissoon, lengthy thing you write. Right? You write everything you write, lengthy thing, lang. Enough wording for let people know he bright. And what you put here? New British Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but just done there. If you know how he biling right to the Indian man, he didn't even know how to write the story to suggest that a man whose ancestors might have been indentured laborers, or a man who look like somebody he hate, is the prime. Simple, he put not just simple. Rishi Sunak or Sunak or whoever, new British Prime Minister, done, he ain't got nothing more to say. Because that piss you off. So I want you to know, Guyanese to know, and some people don't want to have this discussion because it's painful, right? I want Guyanese to know. Do not go to the bottom to see these bottom feeders because they're hollering. You're seeing bubbles coming up. And then you're going down and you sinking down, going and looking for these decrepits. These decrepit bottom feeders. This is the reality. It's just the harsh reality. When people go, there has to be genuine issues that can be uncovered and exposed about the PPP and the government. But these men ain't got no other game than a racist game. Now you look at the guy next one. He like a mammoth, an old mammoth, right? I know, I see he sit down by people, like to walk around and beg, and then he's come and talk about video about idols. What business is that of yours? To assume that there are so much more idols now. We are by nature a fun-loving, God-fearing people. And we respect each other's culture. We are now learning to respect each other's ethnicity. And we accommodate, facilitate each other's religion. Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir. Morning. How you do? I want to ask you one question. Why you elevating Rick Verborg to bottom feeder? Bottom feeder got use. Because it is clean up after everybody. The bottom feeder is an important thing. But you're elevating him to bottom feeder.
So he's less than that. Well, you have to give me something to work with.
Well, I don't think we got definition for he.
Well, nah, man, you confuse me there. You can't dispute what I'm saying and then you don't have something. What are we doing? Are we jerking off for another? What kind of thing is that?
Useless, man.
Think about it and call me back.
Safe, man.
Safe. Yes. So, one has to ask oneself, when you see people come on social media, like yesterday I eat 7 curry and sweet rice, and I have great respect for my brother's religion. I've been to the Diwali, the motorcade, I drove around last night and look at all the the spectacle of lights across this country. And when you're going to hear people try to put down other people's religions. Good morning, brother.
The word that the gentleman that just called was looking for is refuse. Refuse. That is trash. There's no use for trash. Bottom feeders, when we used to live in Essequibo, we used to call them kasi. They used to come up and eat where you put out. See, when you use refuse, you have no use. All you're spewing is hate and garbage. Listen, we are on the precipice of a whole new Guyana. If people stop for a second and see what is really happening in that country, all this nonsense will stop. We are on the move. Guyana is on the move. It's not about black, Indian, Portuguese, Chinese. It's about Guyana, a true and one Guyana. And as long as you have people like him overseas trying to stir up, the SHI, you know what? We're going to have problems. Mr. Critic, you continue to do what you are doing, highlighting the positives and exposing the negatives and the hatefulness so that we can recognize who is who. Because we don't want to deal with these people. We want to move Guyana forward into the next century, because that country is going to be one of the greatest countries in that hemisphere, the largest economy on the planet. And we don't need racists, we don't need vagabonds, and we sure don't need no decrepits.
I hear you, brother. Hello.
Hello, good morning. Good. How are you?
All right, talk to me.
Okay. You know what I want to say about them, about the PNC? Here's the thing with the PNC man them. That man, they ain't got no other thing to work on but racist. It's the same thing that they do in the Democratic Party in the U.S. The only thing they can always talk about is racist this and racist that. Everything is racist. Every time you turn left, you turn right, is racist. This is something new. This is not something new at all. It's been around for years. And the guys like Rick Burke and all these guys are trying to bring this kind of philosophy into Guyana now. But everything is racist and so forth. So it's not anything new.
Well, my brother, not as long as I am here. They can try. But not as long as I am here.
I just wanted to make that point to you.
Roger,
because, because Rick Burke is part of the Democratic Party. Most of the philosophies that they spit in New York and different states, every time they disagree with somebody, it's always racist. Same thing can be said for AOC and Talib and all of these Democratic elected officials in America.
I hear you, brother.
Okay then. Thank you, Critic. Take care.
Cool. So you've got the point of view, and I can tell you, those are two individuals. The first one is a black dude I know, and have been a contributor to my program for quite some time. Not political affiliated, but somebody who I consider to be, a positive contributor. And then the guy, by the end, I'm assuming he's Indian from the tone of voice. But this is the reality. I want to tell people, do not get pulled down into these currents at the bottom to go see these snake oil bottom feeders. Right? Because Guyana is going places. And again, our program there has not been one time that you could hear me say, vote PVP or vote PNC. Well, there's a time I did go out and talk to people to vote for the PNC. I can't decide who you're to vote for. What I try to make you understand is what is positive thinking. What thought process you can use to give credit to yourself. Not tapping yourself on the back. Giving yourself something, a better understanding that will help you to develop yourself. And look, on Rickford Burke's post, one individual commented that, let me go to the original post. One individual commented that this will cause you to lose credibility. Don't worry, Rickford Burke never had any credibility. He doesn't have any credibility. Ask yourself, why is Rickford Burke never seen with black people who are in a struggle? And you're going to see it now. You're going to realize he made a mistake. And Critic identified it, and he's going to start doing it. Rickford Burke is seen with senators, the mayor, you know. He considers himself to be this elitist. You don't see Rickford Burke in the barber shop. You don't see Rickford Burke with the ghetto youths. Yes, sir. Rickford Burke ain't got foot for wear basketball shorts. Rickford Burke must got saggy knees. I tell you. Rickford Burke ain't got foot for wear basketball shorts. Ask yourself, why has he never been anywhere where there are blinds and there's a window? Have you ever seen anything? You know, that gives scenery. Basements don't have scenery. When it comes to a basement is just a normal dwelling place. Much thought hasn't been put into the environment and how you feel. So imagine spending most of your life in a basement and then coming up to the top and getting a breath of fresh air and see the whole world is moving past in front of you. That's what Rickford Burke got to contend with. Being in a musty, desolate hole. It's a hole. Right? The Americans put a nice name to it. They call it the basement. So being in this hole, having all of these things, certificate of plumbing, certificate of attendance to some other thing, the food fair. So you got all up on the wall. No windows. Anybody ever asked themselves? Everybody has, you think about a window, you pose yourself nice, no windows. The upstairs neighbor sent a picture of the NYPD outside. This time the NYPD looking up, they didn't realize they got to look down at the small windows down at the bottom. Right? Put on basketball shorts, bro, and go with the youths of New York. And show them you care. How you never see Rickford Burke always with these important people? How this man was so much want to be for people. Don't dare with it, put it down to earth. You can see pictures like they're going to start come up now. Because that is not who he is. He thinks he's an elite. He thinks that everybody else is lesser than him. Even in his own, amongst his own people. Yeah, I gotta wake up and see the boy for who he is. See, Mr. I mightn't be precise about the basement because I've never been there. I don't know how basement works. The people even want to give me a visa for go see what the basement look like. Now the next thing, some people are representing him in this post that he put up of a PPP East Indian one. If you go in the comments, you see people representing him. That if you read the commentary, nobody, it's not good journalistic practice. It's a taboo in journalism to be photoshopping shit. You put a photo and then in the description you could put in what is your perception or how you perceive this to be. In the caption or in your commentary that is attached to it. You understand? You don't Photoshop the photo. So that explanation that Rickford Burke was just trying to say something, no, Rickford Burke is a dirty, bottom-feeding, decrepit racist. That is what he is. Right? And if anybody asks you, you tell them the realest thing coming out of the Guyanese says so. And nobody can dispute that. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in this morning to the realest thing coming out of Guyana. I'm going to take my leave because it is the first day in the new week. Right? And tomorrow we're going to talk about an amazing fishing trip that I had. But I got started. I didn't want to start. Yes, people don't have no way in come out yesterday. Yesterday was the Festival of Lights, where light outshined the dark. And imagine I come on and got to deal with this bottom-feeding, low-life, basement-dwelling decrepit. That wouldn't have been nice. Right? Guys, take care.